Good morning. The tit for tat on tariff rates and the trade war is what takes most of the headlines today, with China, the European Union, Canada, Mexico, everywhere just about, and exporters and importers shutting down trade because nobody has any idea what the tariff schedules are going to be. So they're going to wait until they have a lot more clarity before placing orders. And that uncertainty is already leading to a collapse in shipping volumes out of China. The good news is that theoretically the tariff rates can be negotiated or rolled into comprehensive trade agreements that satisfy policymakers in Washington. That could happen quite quickly. But supply chain managers see much bigger problems coming from policymakers in Beijing, because the policy changes from China will be longer lasting and structural. Most of the headlines involve the United States raising costs to import products from China into the United States. But the headlines from China involve shutting off exports to everywhere of the most important products used in defense applications, robotics, advanced manufacturing. And think of it this way, that China aims to be the factory for the entire world, for everything. And they own the supply chains and the logistics to do exactly that. By shutting down the materials our factories need to build anything, the tariffs don't matter. They can be 20% or 120% or 1,020%. We can either buy products from their factories and pay their prices, plus whatever tariffs our governments levy on them, or we'll go without. That's the choice. The position that China's in and the one that we're in derives from their total dominance of the supply chain for the mining and refining of rare earth metals. Without those metals, the products don't get made. This is a press release from a U.S. mining company. China has launched a precision strike against the Pentagon supply chain for rare earth metals, the critical minerals that are necessary in all U.S. defense systems, electronics, manufacturing, high-tech, transportation, energy. China has struck on the supply chains for our most powerful weapons systems, stealth aircraft, precision-guided bombs and missiles, satellite systems, hypersonic weapons. Without them, the Pentagon's most advanced systems go to being obsolete. It's a geopolitical earthquake in slow motion, a material Cold War fought with export licenses and embargoes. This is the most recent announcement in Chinese that has Pentagon supply chain managers scrambling around looking for new sources of supply. And here's the English from Reuters. China's rare earth magnets are now covered by strict export controls. And this isn't directed only at the United States, but to everywhere. So manufacturers are looking for new sources everywhere. These minerals are used to make weapons, electronics, and household products, and manufacturers have been buying from China for decades, and these chains are being closed off. It's not just the raw materials and refined products, but permanent magnets and other finished products, difficult to replace. Procurement and supply chain managers in aerospace have a big problem because key parts of their avionics systems have only Chinese suppliers. Nobody else builds the equipment at all. Raytheon, Honeywell, Boeing, GE, they all have big problems, along with Airbus. Analysts believe that China's new restrictions will prompt Western countries to develop our own supply chains. Mining, separating, and refining industries for rare earths, they're all separate processes. They're all expensive and they're all dirty. And we've outsourced all that work to China. Now they have it all, and to build our own is going to take a lot of time. Mark Smith is the same CEO who wrote the Precision Strike press release, and his company has a permit to build a mine in Nebraska, but he needs more money. His shares were up along with USA Rare Earth, but MP Materials dropped over 10% because their refining is all done in China. Everyone acknowledges that China has a comprehensive end-to-end manufacturing supply chain for these magnets, and nobody outside China has even two pieces of that chain, let alone all four. And another problem is here, that all the important capital equipment used in this industry is also made in China. So nobody believes that China will allow us to buy that machinery to build our own mines and refineries and magnets. And there are lots of other industries that need the materials that China just slapped new export restrictions on. The Pentagon sucks all the air out of the room because defense is a money no object industry. But these are billion-dollar companies here. They've got lots of money, but they've got the same problem the Pentagon does. Scandium is used in smartphones, Wi-Fi systems and base stations. Dysprosium is in hard drives and electric vehicles. The new rules include raw materials, refined materials, and finished goods. The entire supply chain, in other words. This table is helpful. There were 3 rounds of Chinese export restrictions on these materials, which are in the far left column. Round 1 was last December, germanium, gallium, and antimony. Round 2 is in February, when tungsten, bismuth, and 3 others were added. Round 3 is now and includes these 6. All the affected applications are in these other columns. And this article goes more deeply into the chemical processes involved in transforming these rare earth metals into the most cutting-edge applications in use today. For the metals that China is restricting, which have substitutes, there are substantial trade-offs in cost and risk. So for round 1, those restrictions hit production of wafers for the fast chips from the top companies: Intel, Taiwan Semiconductor, Samsung. Other big problems in round 1 for data storage. Round 2 hit chip fabs more directly. So the initial rounds restricting these materials strikes at the core of modern semiconductor production. So here's round 3, where China is leveraging its dominance in mining, refining, processing, and materials sciences. The global semiconductor manufacturing industry: smartphones, computers, smart cars, stealth bombers. Nobody knows where their supplies are going to be coming from. This was a deliberate strategy, executed in phases, targeting the entire vertical stack of production. Over time, the impact may decrease as the industry adapts and finds new sources for supply, but that's going to take many years. It took decades for China to build it out, and so these restrictions are highly disruptive across all the tech chains. China developed the rare earth mines wherever the rare earths could be found, but they built the refineries here in China. And now China can decide where and if any product that requires rare earths will get made. This is probably the oldest board game that's still being played today. It's from ancient China, and it's called Weiqi, or Go. It takes a long time to play, and it involves building formations on the board with your pieces, called stones. It's not like chess, where you need to strike at the other player's king, and you can get lucky sometimes, even against more experienced players. And there are no dice or other elements of randomness in the game where you might get lucky there. To win, you need to close off your opponent's liberties, or his freedom of movement, and take control of most of the board. The Chinese have been playing this game for over 3,000 years. This is Hong Kong. Be good.
Father, thank you for this precious brother who has come. Thank you for making him a man of integrity and honor and wisdom. Thank you for making him a brother. Empower him. Fill him with your Holy Spirit. Give him gifts of wisdom or of prophecy.